Topical issues. Topic changes our Kenyan vision. That's the question. And then brainstorming. This is an interesting thing that I'm talking about. In the past videos, I don't know if it was last year or somewhere there, I talked about what we experienced in the past. When I was a small boy, my uncles went to Nairobi University, and I think that was the only university then in Kenya. And there were some who went to Makerere. Makerere was the most important, famous university in East Africa by that time. And those who went to Nairobi University had, do we call them stipends or money that they'll be given? First, you will go to Nairobi and you are given accommodation. You are given food. Everything was catered for up to the... In fact, they rarely needed to buy things for themselves. Everything was provided by the university. And they had some stipends, some money they were given. They used to call boom. And that time, even a person from a poor family would be able to go to the university. I'm talking of university. All you had to do was to work hard and pass your exams. If you passed your exams and you went to the national university, you paid nothing. You are given stipends. When you finished the university, then there was some deduction to pay back what you had used. Many of our present MPs, because they are my age mates, others are older than me, those who went to universities went through that. They never paid, unless those whose fathers were very rich and were taken abroad, because there are some of those MPs whose fathers had money that time. And those people who had money would take their children to America, others would take them to Britain. But the common people took their children to Nairobi University. That arrangement enabled talents, abilities, not riches. Anybody who could be able to make it academically would go to the peak. Would go to the peak. Some of them, our government leaders, are people who went through this. They are beneficiaries of this. And I did not manage to go to university direct. I finished O-level, went to a teacher's training college, advanced from there, and later went to the university. During my younger brother's time, when he went to the university, the stipends were there. Everything, that means they used to eat things that even we could not afford in the houses. They would tell us of things like egg balls, and we would wonder, what are these egg balls? And things like that. And they had stipends. But when I went as a grown-up working, I sponsored myself that time, there were problems. And the problems were many people could not afford. Maybe they could afford because in university there's always a timeline. If you don't pay within that timeline, then you suspend that semester. Many parents cannot understand, and many of the people who were there had that problem. So you'll find somebody would work very hard to make the money, because by then sponsorship was not for everybody, those who could be. So you work very hard to make the money. You are not able to make money to buy food, so you have to, some would look for ways of getting food. The university cafeteria system was working cheaper. But there are others, after paying, even that was a problem. They could not afford to pay accommodation. So they would look for a friend and tell you, please help me push through this semester. I share my bed with you, share your bed with me. So if you are privileged to have money for accommodation, then somebody would come and would share. And that's how they went through. Not very comfortable for them because of money. I would recollect the past, what my uncles enjoyed, because I was younger by then, and what was happening at that particular moment. Glad some of those politicians who are there are thinking of reenacting that. It will be a blessing, because the problem with many parents is money for education. Surely it is a problem. It is an investment that leaves them dry. If the government can take over, and the way you have said, you are reenacting, by example, started this year, and we see that progressing on. That is one of the major problems Kenyans have. And that's one of the major problems you MPs and other people have. Because if I can't afford and you are my MP, almost quarter of the people in your constituency want you to contribute to their children's school fees. They cannot afford. So that is a good thought. Only follow it up. And Kenyans who knew of the past or who have been experiencing that will realize that that burden, people struggle because you say it's an investment. But if the government takes over that investment burden from you, wouldn't you have some money to do other things? For sure. So it's a good suggestion you people have come up with. Those who experienced that time, those who experienced the boom, please allow the Kenyan children to have the same experience and advance. Not because they are rich, but because they are intelligent, they are capable, they can be able to make it. It has been an interesting topic, and I've also thought of delving into it. There was this other thing that talked about in government hospitals. Another problem that get people. You have been doing SHA, you've been doing all these things, and it is good. It's an improvement so that people can be able to afford medical attention. But not everybody can. There are times when people strain and do whatever, and it's difficult even to afford that little money that is needed in SHA. There was a time I had suggestions from the political quarters that the government hospital was trying to reenact that Ministry of Health, this should be Dwelle's place, is trying to reenact the past, when I told you that we never bought medicine. You never paid for treatment. If you are unwell, you would march to a government medical institution, and from the card, your name is written, you go, you are diagnosed. By then there are many clinic officers. If it's not that much serious, if it was serious, there were doctors. You are diagnosed, you are treated, and you go free. I'm saying this because many people are having problems of dialysis. Many people have been having cancer problem. I would like to say kudos to one of the former members of parliament who was in that ministry. He learned the tough way. When he went there, he had an ailment and realized, being the Minister of Health, that that ailment could not be catered for here. He went to America for treatment, and when he came back, he ensured that he convinced the government to uplift these facilities. Many people die because they cannot afford. That is the truth. There are times when a family gets such an illness and then they tell you, we shall pray for you. There's no land to sell, there is no... So they pray for you. When you go to other places and you get painkillers, and they pray for you until the time when you go. So this idea of medical facilities, government taking over, so that even if it is dialysis, even if sometimes some people have had problems, they take their people. I think you have seen these things on TV. A person was taken for treatment, cannot be able to pay medical fee, cannot be able to pay mortuary fee. The body is detained, people are trying to raise money and they can't. If all those things are taken by the public, government takes public, from morgue fee to dialysis to these things, then the Kenyan citizen will say that you have saved him a great deal, because that's where most of the money goes. They will be able to pursue other things. They are good ideas, they are great ideas. And you promise to start implementing them now? Please, put those things in place. And when Kenyans feel that change, because I was there, I experienced that you didn't have to worry about illness. You are sick, you go to hospital, you are treated, unless you wanted to go to a private hospital. Those who were going to school, by then it was, I'm seeing that change coming into schools, where we may end up having from baby class to university, it be free. That is the biggest burden many Kenyans have. And if that is taken care of, and our health affairs are taken care of, we would say that is a great change. And what about government trading with the people? It used to do that in the past, and there was money for the government, because most of the time we always say lack of funds. Funds don't come from loans from abroad. Funds can be raised from the very people. So government should find ways of trading with its own people to be able to raise funds. And these things will be a problem of the past. It is good that you people have that vision. And that's why I said changes our Kenyan vision. And I said brainstorming. Let Kenyans brainstorm on these issues as we go to elections. Let Kenyans tell the people they are putting there, we would like such changes. Because there are countries where education is free. Those who have gone abroad, many have told me that you don't pay for education, and many people prefer their children to be in a public school than a private school. Private schools are paid. Many people prefer their people to be treated in public hospital because they are free and they've got the best facilities than private hospitals. So it is a good thought, it's a good idea, it's a good thing to be implemented for the common citizens. That's where our shoe pinches. And if you can be able to implement those, then Kenyans will say, God has touched the changes. They were there in the past. We're going to that. where a Kenyan now can be able to afford to deal with the daily issues like food and clothing. Now that one you cannot rely on the government to give you. But if those two are taken care of, even the members of parliament who say that it's always difficult, you go and everybody wants money from you. If they get medical attention and they get education, then unless somebody just has a grudge with you, one will not ask for money from you, because that is where the shoe pinches to the Kenyan people. Kenyan people, let's brainstorm on this. I don't know if I'm the only one seeing it that way, or if it is because during the time when I was young, because I was there, I saw them happening, and I experienced something different when I went to the institution of higher learning. I would like Kenyans to brainstorm and voters to think, are these our two most difficult issues? If they are solved, other things will fall in place. Those are my thoughts. I'm not saying that's what Kenyans should, but as a citizen, as a person who has experienced, as a person who was there, I would say if our vision followed that path, it would be one of the greatest changes that the country would have experienced, beneficial to the common people. That is my take.